When considering the 5 stars, the 4 stars, and the weapon banner, the brand new 5.4 banners are quite possibly, and I believe literally, the very worst banners we have ever seen. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. It is your last chance to enter our giveaway where we are giving away a Genshin Impact character of your choice. Go check the pinned comment down below for instructions. It is 100% free to enter. And while you're on Tactor, you may as well check out my brand new tier list, which I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours testing every single character to give my ranking on who was the best. So you can check it out in video or written form. It's actually really cool. I've got on-field and off-field separately. 4 stars are labeled C6. Really, really cool. What's not really, really cool is Mizuki, Sayu, Goro, and Xiangling. Am I saying that right? I don't know. My name is Xiangling. I feel like that's how she said it in her reveal trailer, which was the very first Genshin Impact trailer I ever saw, and what got me to download the game. Always have a special place in my heart for Xiangling. All right, starting with the 5 stars, of course, and then we'll go over the 4 stars and then the weapon banner. Sijun and Sayu are very, very similar in that they are some of the worst 5 stars that we have ever gotten in the game. Now, don't get it twisted. I am really excited for Mizuki. I loved her trailer, like the story trailer we got for her. I love her design. It's possibly my favorite, maybe my favorite design since Mualani. Definitely almost as good or like right around that tier for me, which is really, really good. And I'm really excited to get her, and I will be testing her very extensively as I do every single character. But everything I know about her, everything I've seen about her is terrible. You do not wish for this character for meta. Her main function seems to be swirling elements and getting extra damage from swirling. I've talked about her a lot in this channel. You can check out lots of my other videos on Mizuki and what she does and how good she is. But the new information is that there has been an early access server in CN, which we don't get in English. And the footage about her looks even worse than it did before. So I'm just really hoping that Genshin will show her some love, kind of like they did for Dea, and she will get better along the way. She is looking about as bad as Sijun, which is the worst limited 5 star we've ever had. Sijun just heals and a tiny buff to elemental skills, so she has some synergy with Farina teams, but it is pretty much worse than anything else you could do with Farina teams, especially now that we've had Shalonen. So that being said, Sijun does get some DPS potential with constellations, so if you are a true Sijun enjoyer, she can actually be a ridiculously strong carry with constellations, but I don't cover constellations, especially not ones past C1 or C2. And even in general, I try to shy away from covering constellations too much, although I do I like to cover C1 or C2 and a weapon for those people, because there's a pretty decent amount of people who like to invest in their characters, but Sijun needs more constellations than that to be really good. Or maybe if you have lots of constellations on your Farina, that will also help. And by lots, I mean even just 1 or 2 constellations will make your Farina Sijun teams feel much better. So if you've seen good showcases with Sijun at C0, it probably involves constellations on something like a Farina. So that's where we're looking. Yumi Mizuki is an on-field Anemo VV holder. Sijun can be played either on-field for a small duration or as off-field skill bot. Mizuki does have some synergy with Farina that she heals, but I expect that her best team will be driving off-field Vape/Melt Mawika. That is really what we're looking at for the actual best clears. I have a feeling that her Taser Electrocharge teams are going to really struggle, and I have a feeling that they might not even clear within the time limit that's really acceptable without constellations on your Farina or something like that. So, but I will make her, I will do absolutely everything. I may even stream my testing of her. I'm not sure, but I will do absolutely everything to try and make her work. So that is Mizuki and Sijun. As always, this is a game first. If you love these characters, you got to get them. I love Mizuki. I would probably summon for Mizuki, even if depending, because if I was like just a normal player, I would probably have skipped Mawika, even though she's far and away the best DPS in the game, in my opinion, based on my testing. I would have skipped her because I don't like bike gameplay. Maybe I would have got her as a Cloran support, but I would have skipped Lali as well, because I don't play the DPSs, like the DPSs that I love don't use Lali. So I probably would have skipped them both, and I probably would be getting Mizuki. So I'm not one for skipping. Like, I know I put like must skip in there, and that's obviously for meta, But obviously, if you like Mizuki and you're in love with her, then you got to get her. Just know what you're getting yourself into. You're going to have teammates that carry her ass in the abyss. But they're going to enjoy that, aren't they? Aren't they? I know what you're thinking. Sayu is basically the 4-star version of Mizuki, and I don't know that she's worse. She heals better. Sayu might be better than Mizuki because Sayu, I mean, probably will be, because especially if you get higher cons, because which increase her healing, because she can at least enable Furina as an off-field healer and, you know, swirl and stuff like that. It's not great, right? Like, it's worse than Jean. It's like not that much worse than Jean, but it's worse than Jean. You can do some on-field stuff, but overall they're like the same character, so it's really, you know, no good synergy there. We have Xiangling, and to be fair, Xiangling is obviously by far the best character on this banner. She absolutely needs her C4 to function, so if you need her C4, you should still not wish on this banner, because, you know, you do get 1 copy from the Abyss. You can get them from Star Glitter. Maybe you got one from the Beginner's Wish. She's been on lots of banners. She's one of the most frequently reran 4-stars, so hopefully most people who need copies have got them. This is not a good value banner to snipe your Xiangling copies. And lately we have more alternatives to Xiangling than we used to, especially if you got Moika. You most likely don't need to get Xiangling. Still an amazing character. I have her really high in my off-field DPS tier list. So yeah, Xiangling, hey, there. But I think most people will have at least C4. And then Goro, I don't know what he's doing on this banner. This confirms to me we're getting Inazuma Chronicled Wish pretty soon. Because if they were going to rerun Ito, he would be with Goro. And Ito is really due for a rerun. So this tells me that Ito is coming to the Inazuma Chronicled Witch. Kind of sucks for Ito mains, because if you're going for constellations on your Goro, you would like to snipe early constellations of your Ito. So this kind of is an L, since Ito doesn't want to go with Sijuin or Mizuki. I guess you'd really rather see Goro on a Shalonen banner. If you're an Ito fan, that would be pretty pog for Ito enjoyers, because Ito ideally wants C2 Shalonen. So yeah, Goro being here is really bad. And obviously he only buffs Geo, and his Constellation 6, you know, Geo crit damage is very good, but obviously has no synergy for anything on this banner. So Goro, for the vast majority of player base, is a complete dud. And if we're being honest, most Ito mains, unless you have C2 Shalonen, are not even going to be using Goro on Ito's best team. Ito's best team involves Furina, Yelan, Shalonen. So yeah, Goro looking rough on this banner. Really, really bad. Just kind of insult to injury there. Overall, this is hilarious. And it's really bad for me because I already have C6 on all of these. Fortunately, I built a ton of pity trying to get Yanlan copies, which I did get. And so I will hope to just win my 50-50 on Mizuki and move on. On to the weapon banner. The worst weapon banner we have ever had. And I really think I say that with no reservations at all. Mizuki's weapon is all right. If you've seen it, it gives lots of EM, and then it's passive. I won't even normally I look them up and like read it. It gives more EM, and then if you fulfill her condition, it gives even more EM. So it's very good for Sucrose, but Sucrose often wants Thrilling Tales, and it's really not worth getting a 5-star weapon that just gives more EM for your Sucrose. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. You're gonna get a bit bigger of a buff, but it's super not worth the wishes over something else. There's bajillion different things that would be more worth your wishes than giving Sucrose, you know, 100 or 150 more EM. And then Sijuin's bow is easily the worst 5-star bow. Obviously, it's fine for her because it gives extra HP and whatever else it does. What does it do? When they possess remedy stacks, max HP increase. This is HP main stat. Bond of life stuff. It's just HP and more HP. So basically, no one wants this. It can be a super cope option on Yelan, but it's super cope. Obviously, her own weapon is way better. And it's not like much better than the 3-star options because yeah. So the 5 stars, complete dud. And Mizuki is doing so little damage on her teams that it's not like her weapon is doing all that much for her. It's a beautiful weapon. I will be getting it. I don't have Sijuin's weapon either. This is fine for me. I will be getting it, but I super don't recommend anyone else. For me, you know, it's my job. It's a tax write-off. I like to have everyone on their weapon so that when I'm testing every single character all the time, I don't have to switch back and forth all the time. It's a huge headache. So I will be getting it, but you really shouldn't. And I would never get this as a normal player. Akumaru is our Claymore. It is not very good. It's okay on Beto at high refinement. Like, it's good on Beto and high refinement, but super not worth getting at all. The whatever catalyst this is, I blocked that out of my memory because I hate it so much, is probably the worst weapon in the entire game. Useless. The Wavebreaker's Fin is fine on Raiden and Xiangling, and that is mostly it. It's pretty solid at R5, but it's not like better than 5-star options. There's tons of great universal 5-star spears, and with the pity only being 1, like with the fate points only being 1 nowadays, it's way more achievable to get a 5-star polearm that most people will eventually go for a good weapon banner. This is such an easy skip. For like Wavebreaker's Fin is not catching anyone, and you need at least R4 to even surpass the catch for Raiden or Xiangling. So you need R4 or R5 even. It's like R4, it's like this much better, and then R5, it's finally actually better than the catch. So yikers. I don't even know if I have R5. And the odds of getting them are just so incredibly low. The flute, another worst weapon in the entire game, contender. It's basically just as useless as the Eye of Perception. That's what it is. Very, very bad, awful weapon. And then the bow, I don't remember what it's called. It boosts burst damage, just like the Wavebreaker's Fin and the Akumaru. They all boost burst damage based on the energy cost of the team the energy that your team has used. I think that's what it is. And it's fine. But again, there's so many good 5-star bows, and it is competitive-ish with 5-star bows, but it's not better. It's not worth it. None of these are worth it. This is all totally, truly awful. So there you go. Save your Primo Gems unless you're a based Mizuki enjoyer like me. Again, enter the giveaway down below. I made an account review of myself if you want to check out my account and how I've actually built and tested every single character. You can check out my tier list, of course. Enter the giveaway down below and subscribe while you're down there. And if you don't want to do any of those things, that is totally fine. Just watching this video has been more than enough. Thanks so much. Bye for now.